Murder. Murder is the unlawful killing of another human being with intent. It's considered one of the most serious crimes in many legal systems and is universally condemned as a grave moral wrong. It's a violation of the fundamental right to life and inflicts irreversible harm on the victim and their loved ones. Theft. Theft involves taking someone else's property without their consent, intending to deprive them of it permanently. It's considered dishonest and unjust because it violates the rightful ownership of others. Theft can occur in various forms, such as robbery, burglary, or embezzlement. Adultery. Adultery refers to voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person and someone who is not their spouse. It's often viewed as a breach of trust and commitment within a marriage or committed relationship. Different cultures and religions may have varying degrees of condemnation or punishment for adultery. Lying. Lying is intentionally deceiving others by conveying false information or withholding the truth. It undermines trust and can lead to misunderstandings, conflict, and harm. Honesty is typically valued as a virtue in many moral and ethical frameworks. Greed. Greed is an excessive desire for wealth, possessions, or power beyond what is necessary or reasonable. It often involves selfishness and the prioritization of personal gain over the well-being of others. Greed can lead to unethical behavior such as exploitation, corruption, and disregard for the needs of others. Envy. Envy is the feeling of discontent or resentment aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or success. It involves coveting what others have and can lead to negative emotions and actions. Envy can breed bitterness and hostility, hindering personal growth and damaging relationships. Wrath. Wrath, also known as anger or rage, is an intense emotional response characterized by hostility, resentment, and a desire for retaliation. Uncontrolled wrath can lead to destructive behavior and harm to oneself and others. It's often seen as a harmful emotion that needs to be managed or controlled. Gluttony. Gluttony is the excessive consumption of food or drink beyond what is necessary for sustenance or enjoyment. It involves indulgence to the point of waste or harm to one's health. Gluttony is often associated with lack of self-discipline and can lead to obesity, health problems, and wastefulness. Sloth. Sloth, also known as laziness or apathy, is the avoidance of work or exertion, often accompanied by a lack of interest or motivation. It's characterized by a neglect of responsibilities and a preference for idleness or leisure. Sloth can hinder personal development and lead to unfulfilled potential. Pride. Pride is an excessive sense of self-importance or arrogance, often accompanied by a disregard for others. It involves an inflated ego and a belief in one's superiority over others. Pride can lead to hubris, intolerance, and a lack of humility, hindering personal growth and relationships. Lust. Lust is an intense desire or craving for sexual gratification, often without regard for moral or ethical considerations. It involves objectifying others and viewing them primarily as objects of desire. Lust can lead to exploitation, infidelity, and harm to oneself and others. Blasphemy. Blasphemy is the act of showing contempt or irreverence towards sacred things, such as deities, religious symbols, or beliefs. It's often considered offensive or sacrilegious and can provoke strong reactions from religious communities. Blasphemy laws exist in some countries, although they are controversial due to concerns about freedom of speech and expression. Idolatry. Idolatry is the worship of idols or other physical objects as gods, or the excessive admiration or devotion towards anything or anyone other than the one true God. It involves placing something or someone above the rightful place of God in one's life, often leading to spiritual emptiness and moral corruption. Betrayal. Betrayal refers to the act of breaking trust or confidence by being disloyal or deceitful, especially towards someone who has placed their trust in you. It involves violating commitments or agreements, often causing emotional pain and damage to relationships. Betrayal can take various forms, such as betrayal in friendships, relationships, or professional settings. Hatred. Hatred is an intense feeling of dislike or animosity towards someone or something. It involves harboring strong negative emotions and often leads to resentment, anger, and a desire for harm or revenge. Hatred can poison relationships, fuel conflicts, and perpetuate cycles of violence and suffering. Gossiping. Gossiping is the act of spreading rumors or discussing the private affairs of others, especially in a casual or malicious manner. It often involves sharing information that may be harmful, untrue, or confidential without the consent of those involved. Gossiping can damage reputations, erode trust, and create division within communities. Cheating. Cheating involves dishonest or deceptive behavior to gain an unfair advantage or avoid consequences. It can occur in various contexts, such as cheating on tests or exams, cheating in relationships by being unfaithful, or cheating in sports or competitions. Cheating undermines fairness, integrity, and trust, and it can have damaging consequences for individuals and society. Neglecting family duties. Neglecting family duties refers to failing to fulfill one's responsibilities and obligations towards family members. This can include neglecting the care and support of spouses, children, parents, or other relatives. Neglecting family duties can lead to strained relationships, emotional harm, and a breakdown of family bonds. Abuse of power. Abuse of power occurs when someone in a position of authority or influence misuses their power for personal gain, to control or manipulate others, or to harm others. It can take various forms, such as corruption, exploitation, harassment, or oppression. Abuse of power undermines trust in institutions, violates human rights, and perpetuates inequality and injustice. Coveting. Coveting is the desire to possess or have something that belongs to someone else, often accompanied by envy or jealousy. It involves an unhealthy fixation on material possessions or the qualities and achievements of others. Coveting can lead to discontentment, rivalry, and unethical behavior, as well as a neglect of gratitude for what one already has. Substance abuse. Substance abuse involves the harmful or excessive use of drugs, alcohol, or other substances, leading to physical, psychological, and social problems. It often results in addiction, dependency, and a loss of control over one's behavior and life. Substance abuse can have devastating effects on individuals, families, and communities, including health problems, impaired judgment, relationship breakdowns, and legal issues. Dishonoring parents or elders. Dishonoring parents or elders refers to showing disrespect, disobedience, or neglect towards one's parents, grandparents, or other elders in the family or community. It goes against cultural and moral norms that emphasize honoring and caring for one's elders. Dishonoring parents or elders can strain family relationships, erode traditional values, and lead to feelings of guilt and shame. Selfishness. Selfishness is the excessive concern for one's own interests, needs, and desires, often at the expense of others. It involves a lack of consideration or empathy for others and a focus on personal gain or gratification. Selfish behavior can manifest in various ways, such as greed, manipulation, or neglecting the needs of others. It can damage relationships, hinder cooperation, and undermine the well-being of individuals and society. Corruption. Corruption is the abuse of power or authority for personal gain, often involving bribery, fraud, or dishonest conduct. It undermines the integrity and fairness of institutions and processes, erodes public trust, and leads to economic inefficiency and inequality. Corruption can occur in various sectors, including politics, business, law enforcement, and public services, and it poses a significant challenge to governance and development efforts worldwide. Manipulation. Manipulation involves influencing or controlling others in a deceptive or unfair manner to achieve one's own goals or interests. It often involves tactics such as deception, coercion, or emotional manipulation. Manipulative behavior can undermine trust, autonomy, and authentic communication in relationships, leading to feelings of resentment, exploitation, and insecurity. Exploitation. Exploitation is the unfair or unethical use of someone else's resources, labor, or vulnerabilities for personal gain or benefit. It can occur in various forms, such as economic exploitation, social exploitation, or sexual exploitation. Exploitation perpetuates inequality, injustice, and harm to vulnerable individuals and groups. Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy involves professing beliefs, values, or virtues that one does not actually hold or practice. It often entails a discrepancy between one's words and actions, leading to a lack of authenticity and integrity. Hypocritical behavior can erode trust and credibility, as well as create cynicism and resentment towards individuals or institutions. Despair. Despair is a profound feeling of hopelessness, sadness, or disillusionment, often resulting from prolonged suffering, adversity, or loss. It involves a sense of powerlessness and a belief that positive change or improvement is impossible. Despair can lead to depression, apathy, and withdrawal from life, hindering personal growth and recovery. It's important to seek support and resources to cope with despair and find hope and meaning in difficult times. Let us remember that each decision we make shapes the kind of person we become and the world we create. Take care, and may your actions be guided by wisdom and kindness. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time.